guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well, inshallah. If it is your first time here, my name is Hanan and welcome to the channel. I am so excited for this video, you guys. I really wanted to make sure that I was coming with this video with the best advice possible and just really journaling and reflecting on things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And honestly, I truly feel like you guys are gonna find this video helpful. Well, I hope you do, inshallah. Before I start this video, I do need to clarify something or else it's gonna really itch my brain. I did iron this shirt like 3 or 4 times and for some reason, it just keeps wrinkling up. I think it's the way I washed it, I don't know, but not too much on that because it's still really cute and I'm gonna wear it, so. Yeah, not too much. Anyways, so for today's video, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about things that I wish someone had told me in my 20s. If I had known these things in my early 20s, I feel like it would have saved me so much time from overthinking, from having any form of self-doubt. If you're in your 20s or even in your early 30s and you feel like your life is not going in the way that you would like for it to go, or you feel like you just don't have it all figured out, you are not alone, okay? I have felt the exact same way and sometimes do still feel that way. And you're not behind, okay? You're not behind, you're not failing. Your setback is just prepping you for a comeback. So get cozy, get your coffee, your tea, whatever it is that makes you feel nice and comfortable. And without further ado, let's get this video started. First thing is letting go of attachments and learning to master detachment. Now, a lot of the times when people talk about detachment, they really focus more on like the universe, but they really attach it to things outside of faith. What has really worked for me is understanding that mindset of detachment and aligning it with my faith. So when I was younger, I really believed that the harder that I held on to something, the more likely it was that that thing was going to stay in my life. So whether it was things like a friendship, a job, an opportunity, even my identity, I really clung so tightly onto these things because I was so afraid of letting it go and I really wanted to maintain control of it. And I thought that if I maintained attachment to that thing, it meant that I was loyal to it. But what I actually learned was holding on to those things did not grant me any form of peace, and if anything, it just made me a lot more anxious. And it really set me back from trying new things, getting out of my comfort zone, because I thought that if I held tightly to this thing, then it was gonna be mine forever. If you were to take a lot of sand and put it in your hand and you were to hold it tight, eventually all the sand is gonna slip away from your finger. No matter how hard and how tight you grip that sand, it's going to be released and all of the sand is gonna leave your hand. And I kind of figured that it's kind of the same thing in life. You cannot grip and hold on to things too tightly. You have to trust that what is meant for you will stay, and what is aligned for you will flow in your life, and what's not meant for you will not happen for you. I'll give you a perfect example. I remember when I was younger, there was a job that I desperately wanted. Like I really wanted this job. And I poured my heart into the interview process. I did everything I could to get that job. And when I didn't get it, I thought that I had failed and maybe wasn't good enough for the role, or I didn't do a good enough job with the interview. And I was so bummed out because I didn't get the job that I wanted. And months later, a better opportunity actually came into my hand. And that job that I received and that opportunity aligned with my life far more deeply than the job that I initially wanted. And it really helped me with the person that I was becoming. Detaching doesn't mean you're giving up on your goals and your dreams and things of that nature. It's accepting the fact that when one door closes, it just means the door wasn't meant for you and another door will open and that new opportunities will be made for you. It's just allowing life and really trusting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan for you is always going to be better for you and just letting things unfold the way they're supposed to without trying to force it and without trying to maintain control of everything. The minute you do that, I promise you guys, you'll feel so much more at peace and feel so content. When you stop chasing, I promise you, you will attract good things in your life. And really the key here is if you want to be able to maintain that trust and trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan will always be good for you, you have to learn how to develop tawakkul. And to develop that tawakkul, you have to work on your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that looks different for everyone. But if you make the time to create that relationship, I promise you, the peace that you will feel in your life, the peace that you will have in your life is unimaginable. And I'm telling you this as a personal example because I'm currently living that. I feel like we're all in this constant journey of finding ourselves. We're constantly trying to find ourselves and are on this journey of like becoming. In my early 20s, I thought that there was going to be this magical moment where I felt like, oh my God, I found myself. Like if I do XYZ, I'm going to find myself. And if I do this, then all the questions that I have in my life are going to be answered. And that I would feel really certain and content with who I was as a person. And I thought that, you know, after I got a certain job, after I maintain a certain friendship, after I hit some type of milestone, then that's when it would happen for me. Life is not linear and growth is not something that you check off a box. It is continuously unfolding for you and you are constantly progressing and in that stage of becoming whoever it is that you want to be. The person that you are today is not going to be the same person that you are tomorrow. Who I was at 25, 26, 24, 22 is so vastly different to who I am today. When I tell you, completely different. So don't think that where you're at right now is going to be where you are forever. That's just not the case, and it's just not possible. You are constantly growing. You're going to be constantly reinventing yourself. Sometimes it will be by choice that you're reinventing yourself, and sometimes it's because you've been handed something very difficult in your life. Sometimes life will demand you and will change you as a person. So, that pressure to have things figured out and figuring out yourself, all of that is a lie. You are a masterpiece, but you are also a work in progress at the same time. And you really need to allow yourself and give yourself that permission to evolve. The next thing is that everyone is winging it, okay? I know that when you go online on social media and you see everyone living their life and traveling with all their friends, it can look like they have it together. I promise you, they do not. Everyone is trying to figure it out. Everyone is trying to figure out what they want to be, who they want to be, where they want to be in life. I promise you, you are not alone. Don't look at people's highlights, life highlights, as being a representation of where they're at. Maybe they do feel fulfilled. Maybe they do feel like they have it figured out. But I promise you, for the most part, a lot of people don't, and it's very normal. A lot of the most successful people, when you ask them, how did you get to where you got to? A lot of them will say, oh, it was just luck. Like, I just figured it out. I kept trying, and then eventually this thing landed for me. They are figuring it out as they go. And some of them still don't have it figured out, even though they have all these successes in front of them. The difference here is that they're not better than you. It's that they're just more brave. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to get out of their comfort zone. They're willing to move on when a mistake happens, even when they don't have the answers, and they don't focus too much on the outcome. They focus more on their progress. So you don't need to have it figured out in order to figure out your next step. You just need to continuously try and know that that thing that you want will happen for you eventually. Just enjoy the process of becoming. Enjoy the present moment. Wallahi, you will not get this time again. Where you're at right now, you will not get this time. So really cherish it, enjoy it, live in the moment, and enjoy the progress of becoming that person that you want to become. So when you get there, you will value it a lot more. Be a kind person and stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. I promise you guys, your heart, the kindness that you have in your heart, the way that you work around people, the way that you carry yourself with people and nature and just the world in general, wallahi, that is a reflection of who you are as a person. Who you are is what's on the inside. I, growing up, wasted so much energy trying to be good enough for people in their eyes. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be respected. I wanted to be admired. And honestly, it might have been a little bit of that people pleasing. And I thought that if I was agreeable and helpful and, super nice, then people would validate me. The reality is no amount of external validation will fill the void that you have inside of you if you don't validate it for yourself. Kindness is very powerful, but it should always come from a place of abundance and not a place of desperation. When you know your worth and who you are as a person, you will be kind without expecting anything in return. The only opinion that should truly matter to us at the end of the day is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So seek His approval, not people's approval, but always be kind. Work on cleansing your heart. You will see the energy that you radiate and the good that will come in your life if you honestly work on becoming a better person. Because what is the point of looking good but having an ugly heart? Think about that. Enjoy being single. Now, I'm saying this, my camera. I said that was a hard statement to make, so my camera literally almost fell off because that was like real truth. But enjoy being single, okay? And the reason I say this is because a lot of Muslim girls really hyper fixate on marriage and getting through a certain milestone, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, inshallah, it will happen for you when it's meant for you. But there's also nothing wrong with enjoying the present moment of being single, and it is a season in your life, and just because you're in that season doesn't mean that you are behind and that people are ahead of you because they've hit certain milestones. Your single years are a gift, okay? View it as a gift. This is such a beautiful time to pour into yourself. You don't have any responsibilities outside of taking care of yourself and your family, if that is your responsibility, but it's such a precious time because when that time comes for you, you will have responsibilities. You're going to be taking care of your family, your husband, your kids, yourself, and it's just going to look completely different. You will miss these moments. You have the opportunity to make decisions right now solely on what you want for yourself, based on your growth, your dreams, what you want. You can travel, really work on building your career, really work on building your health, really investing on friendships that feed your soul, and really learning to love your own company. Don't ever view this life of being single as wasted time or wasted opportunity. It is a foundation of what will carry you for the rest of your life. Work on your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I prioritize my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in my early to mid 20s. Literally, everything changed for me, you guys. How I navigate life is so different because I just know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has my back. I trust it. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. He's shown me time and time again. And because I have that, I know that nothing can get in my way in this life. When I prioritized my relationship with Allah, everything else in my life gained clarity. My decisions aligned a lot more closely with my values. My sense of peace grew a lot more as well. And I stopped measuring my worth against other people's standards and started seeing myself through the lens of my faith and through the lens of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love for me. Your relationship with Allah is going to anchor you in a world that constantly changes. Everything changes around us. It reminds you that no matter what shifts, if things change in your life, your career, your relationships, your identity, you're never truly alone because you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You guys, I'm not exaggerating when I say everyone's relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is different. The type of love that you will receive from Allah is just, can't even describe it. I literally was telling this to my friend the other day. I was saying how there are some habits that I've been really trying to bring back into my life since Ramadan. One of them being really trying to get back into reading Surah Al-Mulk every single night. And now that for me is a non-negotiable. That is a habit that I've really built, and to the point where I literally cannot sleep if I do not read Surah Al-Mulk. Because of that small habit that I've built, I really think it's allowed me to feel closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a different way, where before I go to sleep, sometimes when I go to sleep and I'm making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I quite literally feel like He's hugging me. Now, obviously, my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very different from yours. But when you really develop it and you work on that, your life is going to be so beautiful, you guys. The pain that you feel will feel lighter. The next thing is motivation is unreliable, but systems work. You cannot wait for motivation in order to get things done, you guys. It doesn't work. Okay, I'm telling you this from personal experience. Like, I used to wait for motivation to hit me before I did anything. If I was working out, if I was applying for jobs, if I was gonna start creating a new art piece, if I was working on my goals, whatever it is, I would always wait until I felt motivated. I would literally be like, you know what? I feel inspired today. I feel motivated. Let me do this. Some days motivation will show up, but majority of the time it does not. And I thought that meant that I was not disciplined or driven enough in order to get work done. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes based on your mood, based on your energy, your life circumstances. It's going to change all the time. What really will create consistency for you in your life is building systems. These are things like, routines, habits, small actions that you will follow whether you like it or not. And having systems took me from wishing that I got something done to actually doing it. Having systems will really allow you to show up in your life. If you guys want me to make a separate video on this, talking more about how to set habits, how to be a lot more disciplined with your time, let me know. I would love to make a video on that. A perfect example of how you could do this is something like setting out your workout clothes at night so that it's ready for you in the morning and you have no choice but to go to the gym because it's out there and you can see it. And what does that do? It creates momentum. Momentum is what will help you with building your success. The next thing is progress over perfection. I think a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this as well, are perfectionists. Okay, we are perfectionists. I'm gonna sit here and admit that I definitely used to be a chronic perfectionist that actually caused me to have a lot of anxiety that was crippling. Like, it kept me stuck for so many years and really, I feel like really took me back. While it seemingly on the outside, I was doing a lot of things and succeeding in a lot of things, whether it was, my career, my schooling, whatever. I thought that if I didn't do something flawlessly, then it wasn't worth doing at all. Which is actually insane to think about. I would sit and I would plan endlessly these to-do lists. I would wait for the perfect time before I wanted to do something, the perfect idea, or until it felt perfectly right to do. And all that did was really set me back because life does not work like that. Progress is progress, even when it's messy, even when it's slow, even when it doesn't feel right in that moment. Progress is what allows you to move forward. And every single step that you do in your life is going to count. You cannot dismiss the fact that there are things that you are doing right now every single day that is getting you closer and closer to your goals. And if you stay in that rut of perfectionism, it will keep you in planning mode forever. And you cannot sit there planning your life for the rest of your life. It doesn't work. You need to actually execute. And progress is going to get you the results. Even if within that progress you're failing, you're making mistakes, you're stuck and you can't figure it out, you will. I promise you, you will. Some of the best things that I've started in my life started out imperfectly. A perfect example of that is my art. When I first started sharing my art, you guys, like the first few art pieces that I shared, and if you guys followed me for a minute, you guys know the first art pieces that I shared, everyone loved my art. I hated it. Like, I was not a fan of it. I was so surprised that people loved it, to be honest, because I thought it wasn't good enough. Like, I really didn't. But wallahi, I told myself, I'm just gonna post. Like, it is what it is. Let's just see how this goes. Like, I'm creating because I love to create. It's not a perfect art piece, but it's fine. But I still posted. where did that progress and consistency take me? It got me opportunity. It opened up the door for my career. Why? Because I pushed away the thought of perfectionism and told myself that I'm going to share my work even if it's messy and isn't good enough in my own eyes, because I know that it's still progress and it will take me to where I need to go. Having that mindset will change everything for you. You do not owe everyone access to you in your life. In my 20s, I thought that by being a good friend, by being the perfect daughter, it meant that I needed to constantly be available. And I literally said yes to everyone. I did not know how to say no, y'all. If I got invited to a night out and I was super shattered, I still said yes. If someone asked me to come over and help them with something and I wasn't in the mood to do so, I still said yes. I just tried to be everything to everyone, and it caused me to really not pour into myself, and it was detrimental, honestly, to my health and to my well-being. Not everyone deserves their full access to your time, to your energy, and to your emotions. Those boundaries that you create aren't created to shut people out, right? When we create boundaries, I know everyone talks about boundaries now, boundaries this, boundaries that. Boundaries are not created to dismiss people. They're created to protect your peace and to protect your energy and to protect your time, right? It's all about making sure that you're able to give enough to the right people without it actually being detrimental to your sense of self and detrimental to your energy and also your health. You have the right to choose who has access to you and how much access someone gets from you. At the end of the day, we have free will, y'all. Choose how you want to use your free will wisely, okay? There's nothing wrong with doing that. I think a lot of us have that people-pleasing tendency. Shout out to my eldest daughters, okay? We know what that's like, of just feeling like if you say no, it's the end of the world. Wallahi, it's not the end of the world. You can say no, okay? You can say no. Nothing bad's gonna happen if you say no. Like, mountains are not gonna erupt, there's not gonna be a flood. Like, it's okay. You're allowed to say no. And how people respond to you saying no, or you rejecting them having access to something that's yours that you don't want to share, whatever it is, if they respond negatively to that, that is on them, not on you. You've done your part, especially if you've done it respectfully. You've done your part. That's that. There's nothing more you need to explain. So yeah, you need to be a little more unapologetic. I'm just saying. I think this one's actually really important. And it's just recognizing that your emotions and how you feel isn't always the truth. Let me explain what I mean by that. So your feelings are valid, my feelings are valid, everyone's feelings are valid, but they aren't always fact, okay? I have cried over things that, in hindsight, when I think about it, weren't as big as they felt at the time, because I've always felt fear when it came to making really big decisions in my life. Change is terrifying, okay? Change will feel paralyzing because why? Because you're going through a loss in your life. Something is changing, and that change can feel very overwhelming. But the emotions that you're feeling in that time doesn't always reflect the reality of the situation that you're dealing with. Just because something feels hard in that moment, it doesn't necessarily mean that what you're going through is wrong and that you should take back that decision. It's still the right decision for you. It's just that you feel this way and you feel emotional and you feel like you're crying and you're sad and you're angry because change is happening in your life, and that change is scary. Let yourself feel, sit in that emotion, but don't let feelings make your decisions for you. Let them pass and choose wisely. Okay, because I know as women, sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us, and then we feel like because we feel a certain way emotionally, then that is fact. That means that we need to change our mind about whatever decision we're making in our lives. It's not. Cry, yell, scream in your pillow, but don't let those emotions reflect the fact that you're dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life, and change your mind about something. I promise you that decision is probably a good decision, which is why you feel uncomfortable by it. So I'm just saying. Okay. I will talk about this 50 times if I need to. Choose your friends wisely. This isn't new information, right? We hear people talk about choosing your friends wisely all the time, but your friends shape your mindset. They shape your habits. They shape the opportunities sometimes that even come in your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who uplift you, who make you feel good, who hold you accountable and try to help you become a better person. If I have a friend and my friend tells me, Hanan, I wouldn't do that if I were you because of XYZ, the way I would respect that friend, because you're actually looking out for me and you care for my well-being. If you have a friend who, I don't know, let's say after hanging out with them, you feel so bad about yourself, you feel very negative, you have an insecurity, maybe they put you down in terms of an outfit you're wearing, maybe there's snide comments, sometimes people will make snide comments or will make a hurtful joke but tell you that pass it off as a joke, but it's not a joke. There's always a little bit of truth to every joke. Ask yourself how you feel in those friendship groups. I promise you, it is more than okay to outgrow your friendships that no longer align with your values, with your growth. The right friends in your life will celebrate you, will make you feel good, and will also, celebrate who you're becoming, not just who you were in the past, but the person that you're becoming and the person that you aspire to be. They celebrate you through and through, and you celebrate them through and through. Those are the friendships that you need to align with. Those are the friendships that you want to keep. And also remember that the friends that you keep with you in this life will also determine what your akhirah looks like. So choose wisely. Don't choose friends that may lead you to the wrong path and lead you to disappointing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just think about that. Think about your friends and think about whether your friends are pulling you closer to him or further away. You do not need to take advice from everyone. In my 20s, I took advice from anyone who was willing to give it. I would literally ask advice from anyone and everyone because I was so confused. Family, friends, I would go online and look for strangers for advice. But not all advice is good advice, right? People reflect their advice based on their life experiences. Like even the advice that I'm giving you guys today, you can take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to agree with any advice that I'm giving you guys because it's based on my life experiences. It's based on things that I've learned, things that my friends have learned, and things that have worked for me. Not everyone's opinions should shape your path. You need to have your own opinions. You have a brain. Use it, okay? You're allowed to think. You can think for yourself. Seek guidance from people who have values that align with yours, right? From people who are living lives that are similar to you or lives that you admire, but also you have to have discernment. Okay, your future and what you want for yourself depends on who you listen to. So make sure that you choose wisely, that you curate your social media wisely, like you're following the right people, that you're consuming the right media, because wallahi, it will actually shape your brain and your mind and how you think, and that will reflect how you live your life. So you don't need to take advice from everybody, okay? It's okay. Not everybody's gonna give you the right advice, so it's fine. It's okay to set financial boundaries, okay? I feel like right now there's so much pressure to keep up, right? Dinners, vacations, bridesmaid, travel, shopping. When I was younger, the amount of money that I spent, like if I told you guys how much money I spent, like I spent so much money to avoid feeling left out. And the reality was I didn't realize that I was really trying to match other people's lifestyles. And all that did was really drain me and drain my sense of peace. And it didn't give me any fulfillment whatsoever. It is okay to say no. It is okay to skip outings. If you cannot afford to go out, do not go out. Save instead of spending. You need to learn to have financial literacy. I wish in my early 20s, I had better financial literacy and knew about where to put my money, how to save. Had I known earlier, damn, God knows where I'd be right now. Like it just would have been so different. So it is okay to say no. If you skip on those outings, it's fine. Like it's not everyday FOMO, okay? It's not every day you need to be in every single outing, every single thing. Financial boundaries are not embarrassing. Just because you're saying you don't want to go on an outing doesn't mean you're broke, okay? It doesn't give the impression that you're broke. It's just you don't want to go. That's actually empowering. The fact that you know where you want to spend your money and how you want to spend your money, your future self will thank you. When you're 30, 35, 40, and your bank account is stacked, because you're smart with your money, you will thank yourself. So it is okay. If you cannot afford to travel, don't travel. If you cannot afford to buy a new outfit, don't buy the new outfit. What is that saying that they say, if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it? Or some people even say, before you buy it, leave it in your cart for 3 days and come back to it and see if you actually want it. You need to know the difference between wanting something and needing something. So it's okay to set financial boundaries and try to be a little more financially literate. Go out of your way to learn. You will pay for your decisions twice. Once in effort or once in regret. The effort that you're going through in life to get the things that you want right now is going to cost your energy, but regret costs you sleep later. Always choose the payment that will allow you to sleep at night. Nobody is coming to save you, okay? Nobody's coming to save you. Everybody is dealing with something. Everyone is going through something. Everybody is struggling in some way, shape, or form, whether they choose to share it or not. Everyone is dealing with something. This is something I always think about, wallahi, like even when I'm talking to people and I'm trying to be very careful with my words of how I say things to people and how I navigate in certain spaces, I always remember that every single person that I'm speaking to is going through something or has gone through something, whether it's something detrimental in their life, something very impactful, or something minor. Everybody's dealing with something. So keeping that in mind, you cannot wait for people to save you. The only one who can save you is yourself, and obviously relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you can't wait for people to come and save you and fix things in your life. People are prioritizing themselves. We're human beings. Our focus is always going to be on ourselves first and foremost. When you stop waiting for someone to come and save you and fix your life you will realize that you have the power to rewrite your own story and rewrite how you want your life to look like. You have a lot more power and agency than you think. And the moment you realize that is the moment that your life will change. When you want to make a decision, I want you to stop looking for signs and just make that decision. Stop looking for a reason to make a decision. If you know that that decision is right for you, you need to make it unapologetically and stop thinking too hard about it. Decisions are just decisions. Either decision is going to lead you somewhere, but regardless, that decision and where it leads you was meant for you. A lot of you are waiting for the perfect sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to tell you that this decision is right. Go for the decision. Clarity will come after you make that commitment. Rest is not a reward that you're going to earn based on how productive you are. You need to rest your body. Okay, you need to rest your body, or else your body will force itself to rest and you will crash out, and that's what leads to burnout. Rest is not something that you earn. It's something that needs to be a non-negotiable in your life, and you need to make time for it. Whether that means creating a deadline on when you're going to stop working, whether that means incorporating more hobbies into your life, whatever that looks like for you. Burnout is not something that is admirable and doesn't make you look like you are a hard worker. And if anything, it's just going to make you crash and set you back. Make the time to rest. That is all that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you guys did find it helpful. If you did, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys know I love seeing you guys in the comments. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.